Okay, welcome back to episode 9 of LEGO Marvel Superheroes. Last time, we explored what was left of the X-Mansion and fought the Juggernaut. This time, we are going to be taking the battle to Doctor Doom himself in his country of Latveria. And Heimdall, the great bridge master, will do us the honors of getting us to where we need to be. And then we can get started here. Now, just like last episode was a dedicated Fantastic Four episode, a dedicated X-Men episode, this time it's going to be a dedicated Fantastic Four episode. So we're hitting all the Fox movie franchises back to back, but I like this level so much better than the X-Mansion, which I thought gets a little bit tedious. Here, we're storming Doctor Doom's castle to crash his plans. And we don't just have the Fantastic Four to do this. We're going to get a ride along with Nick Fury. And that's always exciting. Now, if you were playing the story mode for the first time on the game, there would be a transition. You would have to find and bring the Fantastic Car up from the bottom of the lake. Yeah, but we don't need to do that. We're just going to take her right into Latverian airspace and get shot at. And fortunately not shot down. Although it may seem like it in this next cutscene coming up here. If you really want to collect studs, I would recommend being the Thing as you fall, simply because he has the most size, and so he will attract the most studs. But we're going to start off here with the three-member team of Mr. Fantastic, who, as we talked about, has skills that range from doing things that web-slinging characters can do to also having his own special plate that he can turn into special objects by interacting with.
I saw this in a movie once.
Things like parachutes. Thing is your normal big figure. He doesn't have anything particularly special about him. Unlike the Hulk, he cannot transform into a smaller character, obviously. And unlike the Hulkbuster suit, he can't shoot anything. The Invisible Woman has psychic powers, so she can create the same sort of shield that you saw with Jean Grey, and she can use that shield to interact with Captain America's shield points. Not the shield locks, the things you actually need to throw a shield into, but the little deflection things that we've seen from time to time. All right. So I'm just going to start breaking stuff. Now you can see in the beginning of this level that it's obvious that we're supposed to get the Thing to break this wall up here on the upper left. And there's also a interaction point for the Invisible Woman here. So we'll let Sue mess around with these blocks. Now you'll notice a problem. If we put all three of the blocks on top of each other, it'll be too high for any character to reach. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make a little staircase. And because I decided to invoke creativity, we're going to make a leaning staircase. And then we're going to send Thing over it. Now you can see here I'm trying to get Thing to do the part where he puts his hand in the earth and pulls up a big boulder or something. I wasn't doing it down there in the castle. Does do it right here. And evidently I'm too close to make that work. So I'm going to walk over here and open up that pathway. And so you can see for Mr. Fantastic, the next move here. And we have our first appearance by the Doombots. just wailing on us while we wait for the cutscene to end. Again, that's my biggest problem with the flunkies. They get the opportunity to just sort of swarm you during cutscenes. While they can't hurt you, just as soon as the cutscene's over, they can start hurting you. So now this is tricky because you actually need to aim for the edge of this circle here. Not the middle of it where I've got pointed now. That's not actually doing anything. No, it needs to be on the metal rim if you want to shut down and create this bridge here and work your way across. But, you know, generally speaking, I like the way the Fantastic Four works in this game. Between the four of them, they have a large number of powers that don't really overlap one another. They don't give you access to all the possible powers in the game by using the four of them, but they do work, you know, really well together. So here we're going to clobber some stuff and give the people's elbow with the thing. And now we've created a place for Mr. Fantastic to go. Let's see what shape he becomes this time. Ah. And there you go. And now he's going to have to... Now, this is not a hard puzzle. You just need to hit the X with your cursor. But I really thought that they were trying to lead me somewhere with this. So I obviously not played this level recently. That turns off the power, and once again we can get in on this bridge. And once Thing destroys this wall, we are approaching one of the more Invisible Woman's centric segments. Because of her ability to go invisible, there are lots of things for her to do. And it's a good idea with any stealth character, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or you're not really sure what's going on, if you need to orient yourself, you can always make an invisible character go invisible and then wander around the map without having to worry about people trying to kill you. You might die accidentally. At least no one's going to be trying to kill you. So the Invisible Woman needs to work her way up here and find a way to open that thing so that the Thing, you know, our pal Thing, and Mr. Fantastic can actually get through to the rest of the level. And now what I did here is, even though they're not stealth characters, I was able to drag Mr. Fantastic and Thing beyond the stealth sensor because of my character placement. So that allowed Mr. Fantastic to jump up here and then set up the final shutdown of this gate. And that'll allow the Thing to run up the stairs and then bash this wall over here. But, you know, I just like the setup of this environment so far. The, you know, the little land of Latveria. Here we are storming Dr. Doom's castle with his most ardent foes. I mean, you know, Dr. Doom is considered to be part of the Fantastic Four franchise, which is one of the problems Marvel's had because he's also one of the, you know, more common Marvel villains. So Fox having his rights is kind of a deal. But as we continue to go through Doom's castle, the assumption is that we must be getting close to dealing with Doctor Doom, and it seems like a natural fit here with the Fantastic Four, even if we're going to turn ourselves into car batteries. In another transformation that I don't necessarily think makes a lot of sense for Mr. Fantastic, but hey, he's Mr. Fantastic. He gets to do these kinds of things. And so now we've worked our way all up to the area where supposedly Nick Fury landed the Fantastic car with the aid of Johnny Storm. So we need to go and find those guys. So we've got to work our way up there. And I'm sort of looking around for a way to do that. And then I see the route is actually down. It's not to the right, it's not up, even though that's where all the action is. You actually have to go down. And so Thing has to do his thing so that Invisible Woman can do her thing. And this Doombot evidently just wants to cause problems. So he's going to stop us from going anywhere by destroying the bridge. And so we're going to need a two-step process to get that bridge back. First, we need the Invisible Woman to take care of the guy here. She can't operate the switch, but she can pull the plug on our little detection light here, which will allow Reed Richards to go and press the switch. So here, give us a little maneuverability time, and here we are. So he fires it back up, and we have our bridge again, and we're one step closer to making our way to the Human Torch and Nick Fury. And now, we have to go up. So we'll use Mr. Fantastic's ability here to pull a ladder down, just in case you were expecting him to jump up to the next level or something. So that was kind of a little switch. And then we're going to melee these Doombots, take some studs. And here's a Captain America plate, which, because we've seen this before, we know that we're going to be using the Invisible Woman. I think technically she manipulates force fields, but she'll be using her blocking powers to deflect this laser that we just freed courtesy of the Thing. But we do have to get her up here. For some reason she decided not to follow us up the ladder. I mean, what are you doing to us, sir? So we redirect the laser over to the other side, and it will then charge up that little thing, and that will bring the bridge back online and deactivate these big guns. So you kill two birds with one stone without killing any birds. That's probably the way to do it. Now the next thing you need to do is you need to activate Human Torch and Nick Fury. Now they will join you as team members for the rest of the level. So now we have access to the Human Torch's flying capabilities and gold burning capabilities again. Although right now I'm evidently more interested in destroying things. And then we can take control of Nick Fury. Now, again, this is a neat part of this game because Nick Fury, in the movies, Nick Fury doesn't normally take direct action, although he is involved sometimes in fights and things. Here, you could use him the rest of the way, except for powers that he doesn't have. Nick Fury has basically the Black Widow's power set. He's got his gun, and he can access smart guy stuff, and he can go stealth. The game also likes to make a large number of Samuel L. Jackson references with the Nick Fury character, and we'll see some of those as the game progresses. We've already seen some of them, coming up to here. But if you remember Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Nick Fury's gravestone was a reference to Samuel L. Jackson's role in Pulp Fiction, in the faux Bible verse that he kept reciting over and over again. And this game too will make poke fun at that verse later on when Nick Fury is at all things a party. Now, at this point, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to activate the Doom alarm so that Doom will be forced to send in his flunkies down the elevator so that we can take over the elevator and use it to go find Doom. In free play, there's still a good bit of this level that you can mess with. But for story purposes, you only need to get through this golden panel here. And naturally, the only guy who can do that is the Human Torch. And here we run into the only real problem of having 5 characters on the screen at once, and that is trying to switch between them sometimes takes a little while. Even if you try to position yourself to be closest to a particular character, you may guess wrong and he could end up switching to somebody else. Now, this elevator here will only activate with heavy weight, which means that really the only character who needs to go in the elevator is the Thing, and then everybody will follow. And then we're into the boss phase. And lo and behold, it's not Dr. Doom. Green Goblin being here was set up a little while earlier when you saw his copter parked here. But this is the switcheroo I was referring to in the title. It's kind of a nice change because, again, a battle between the Fantastic Four and Dr. Doom would have to be a climactic thing and sort of lead to the end of the game. This way, where the Fantastic Four are fighting Green Goblin, who we know is not one of the major drivers of the story. We can have our Latveria moment and still keep Dr. Doom around for later on. Now that one you saw the pumpkins being thrown by the Green Goblin hit Thing enough to kill us. And here you can see I'm using the Thing just to quickly deal with the Green Goblin's life hearts. You don't have to use the Thing. You could have attacked him with Mr. Fantastic or shot him with Nick Fury's gun or something of that nature. But, while we were down there with the Thing, might as well go after him. And so now we're in the phase of the boss fight where we're once again just fighting lots of flunkies, waiting for a solution to present itself as to how to hit Goblin next. And Goblin delivers by knocking out the window, which then we can then use to build a giant fly swatter, which for some reason Goblin flies right into. And now, once again, it's just a matter of hitting the Goblin until he's down to 1 heart, and then he'll go into the final phase of the boss fight. Because I think you've noticed there's one character that we haven't really done anything with here at this point, and that is Mr. Fantastic. So you note that when I'm stealthy as Nick Fury, none of the Doombots bother me, even if I shoot them with guns, which doesn't seem terribly realistic, but, you know, if the game's going to let you get away with that stuff, you might as well take advantage of it. The other thing is that Dr. Doom does, sorry, not Dr. Doom, the Green Goblin does is he, you know, insults the Fantastic Four by constantly referencing the fact that, you know, he's not getting to fight Spider-Man. He wants a real challenge. So, just in case you didn't feel irritated with Green Goblin, yeah, you can probably feel irritated with him by the end of this fight. So this time, Mr. Fantastic turns into a lighthouse. For some reason, attracts the Green Goblin's little thing and causes him to fall off of it. And you only need to hit him once with any character and you'll trigger this closing scene. Johnny Storm, who was knocked out at the beginning of the Green Goblin fight, is okay. And here we have the Fantastic Four against Dr. Doom and his Doom Ray of Doom.
Usually ray guns use focused light, whereas this appears to use cosmic energy.
This is, you know, and we're about to have the huge showdown, except for one thing. First off, this gun is a bluff. Second off, hey, it's Loki. You wonder where he had gone after he left Asgard? Well, he's hanging out in Latveria, because why wouldn't you? If I had the opportunity to hang out with Dr. Doom, that's what I'd do, right? So now we've defeated, we defeated the Green Goblin, but Dr. Doom and Loki are about to get away once again, so we're going to have to keep pursuing them in the next episode. So see you then.